We authentically have access to all the things that other communities even pretend that they do or wish that they did.
And it's really close in.
Yeah, I mean, it's in town. It's,
right.
We rode today in City Limits, which was just, I love to take new people on those types of things. And
so do you do tours?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
so. As much as we possibly can, of course. So the stickiest money of all kind is when you build things that nature put mountains here.
Right.
You have mountains. So why would you not cater to that lifestyle and capitalize on it financially? There's nothing wrong with that. So it is, and I think as communities start to understand that, especially in regions where it doesn't snow. I mean, trust me, it doesn't snow, not like real snow. So 10 months out of the year, you're playing outside at least, and buy a jacket and you can go 12 months a year. So as those amenities continue to be built up, we have all the restaurants and the hotels and all the things, because usually when you find trails, for example, it's trails and then like maybe the town starts to grow around those, but even that is pretty challenging because you're usually pretty far out in the middle of nowhere. And that's the advantage of Johnson City, and again why Trek is here is because we have it all. I mean, you ride right from the store and do all these pretty amazing places, even like Tannery. I mean, an amazing facility that is.
Yeah.
The city saw that that's an investment, but without that 400-foot tall bump, you can't build that.
Right.
You have to have that first.
Right,
and even since we've been here, so the Tweetsie Trail was the first project. That was the first year we were here. Tannery is essentially the second project, and the city's already designed trails on the mountain I was referring to. So that continuation of like what's next. We're not done, and literally kind of have like the next 5 years laid out into that outdoor rec. Then we have the Nolichucky, and big companies like Piranha Kayaks left the Asheville area where there are no rivers. Came here
where there are actually rivers,
and you could just see like the moment when those guys were like sitting around a table and like, guys, wait a minute, what if we went to the river and bought a factory for probably pennies on the dollar, in the land, and they're on the river? I mean, it's just a good business plan, in every possible way, but yeah, and like where you live has never mattered less in America. Like $1 million companies are on laptops nowadays, so like living by X city because that's where my job is just not a thing as much anymore. So you have whole new generations of people who are choosing where they want to live based off like that quality of life.
Absolutely.
But if it's optimized for bikes, chances are we're probably going to let other people in on it. And as bikes become more capable, the trails become more capable. So now we're talking about big, flowy, rolly things that were designed with like environmental studies and topographical scans, but people with degrees on how to move Earth. It's not just you and I with a weed whacker going like, let's go that way, and then like, let's go this way, and like, that's not a sustainable environment where it's like beginner, intermediate, advanced. That's a hiking trail that allows bikes on it, and that's not. Most people think mountain biking, and the first thing that you just thought of was a young guy chugging an energy drink and like skidding tires and flying off stuff. And it's like, that can be mountain biking. Most people can't, even if they wanted to do that kind of stuff. So most of it is like hiking. It's off-road walking. You're gonna get dirty. You're gonna step over sticks, and it's more challenging than walking down a sidewalk. But you don't have to be a world-class athlete to go for a hike. It'll be strenuous, and that's about it. And mountain biking, when done properly, should be the exact same experience. You're gonna be dirty. You're gonna climb things that'll probably stop and catch your breath at the top. You're gonna take pictures of your bike leaning against things with great views. Like that's the experience of mountain biking when marketed properly. And again, we have all of that right here with a plan on how it's going to be better. It's a multi-billion-dollar international company owned by a guy named John, not a company owned by another company owned by another company, and I think that's a story we do a very poor job of telling. John's dad started Trek. It's a family business. And you think all of the fancy, amazing market research...
So is this a franchise?
No.
It's a corporate store?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a...
And you have no ownership?
Rare. Yeah. No, it's very rare, is the best thing I could describe, for doing that, because John owns Trek and owns Trek stores to go along with those types of things. So, like, you can do things when you own the company that you can't do when it's a board of directors answering to investors. And that kind of stuff.
Especially if you go public.
Yeah, so by doing Johnson City, it's like that's where we should be because that's where the real riding is. But also, like, you can be in Knoxville in a couple hours. From a mountain biking perspective, you can ride trails there. You certainly can be through Virginia. They have trails right here, and we can make the community better for cycling. Plus, the Pisgah, the Asheville area is all here as well. So it's like, well, that's the middle of it. Why would we be in any of these other ones? But, in a normal, massive corporation franchise thing, not to fault the platform, but they're going to look at demographics and be like, go there. And it's like, well, that was just a major city where we're just slicing up that pie so much smaller, and we can't really have an impact there. So why don't we go to the place that we could have a bigger like we can give back. Sounds so cheesy, but give back as much as we get out of the town. But when we opened here, there was really no cycling culture here at all, and Jenna can attest to that. People rode bikes because you'll always find enthusiasts everywhere, but the town was not. We didn't have bike racks. We didn't build mountain bike parks. There were no trails here, nothing. But we had mountains, so we knew it was a possibility. So when we came in, we were like, we sent all these surveys before we even opened. We're like, would you ride 60 miles? That's kind of like a marathon to a cyclist, distance-wise. And they were like, resounding, no. And I'm like, oh, all right, fine. Well, would you do like 25 miles? It's like a 5K. Nope. I'm like, oh, we've made a horrible decision here. This is not working. People don't seem to be cyclists here. And we can make some, but I was hoping there were more of them here. So we kind of just whittled it around and changed different things. And we got down to like 5 miles. Would you do like a 5-mile ride? And it was still a lot of it like, nah, that's too far. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 5 miles only takes like 30 minutes. And then people were like, well, I'd ride that bike for 30 minutes. I was like, well, let's do that. So we just changed the marketing and we're like, well, 30 minutes, truly, you could do anything for a half hour. So let's do a half-hour bike ride. And we worked with a friend of ours who owns a taco shop here in town.
We're going there for lunch next.
Perfect, Holy Taco, Jesse, yep. And we asked Jesse, I was like, really, what was your slowest night of the week? Which I still don't believe is Tuesday. Is that Taco Tuesday is like, you're marketing wrong then, because it should not be your slowest night of the week. But anyway, it was. So we're like, fine, so let's do a 30-minute bike ride on Tuesdays and go to his place, which is a half block away. So we ride through a neighborhood that's referred to as the Tree Streets. It's not like an actual subdivision, but it's just all of that. So that was it. And it started with like 12 people, and I knew their first and last names. And now, it's 4 years later, and I mean, it's been in Bicycling Magazine, Outside Magazine. It was in GQ Magazine once, which is weird. But it's arguably one of the largest group rides in the United States. We get over 400 people in season.
Wow.
We're talking like kids, lots of kids, almost too many kids. People with dogs in baskets, people dressed in costume, there's music on the bikes. I mean, it's just this social thing that has exploded. It's so big now, Johnson City Police Department closes the streets for it. I mean, it's like a 5K.
That's amazing.
It is. So we have about 200, probably more than that even now, Trek stores in the country, all in completely different markets. There's stores worldwide. We have in Dubai and Germany and all over the place.
Wow.
But there's taco treks, or at least versions thereof, that happen at all these places now. The idea being, because I got a call
The
from
mastermind.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was the idea that it's just fun, and you get guys with $10,000.
Does the owner of Trek know what he has in you?
Well, yes, I think there was some. Yes, he's
Okay.
invested big time in Johnson City, and it's because of the things that we did.
Okay.
So yeah, John does, and John's been here, and John's a real person, and it's not like you never see John.
Right.
So you interact with John and Chad Brown, who's our CFO, regularly, and not in a like slap your hand, you did something wrong way, but like a genuine, you guys are doing something really cool. How can we duplicate this to the rest of the country? Because it is selling bikes, but you can't walk into Waterloo, Wisconsin and buy a bike. You can't. So that means the only way you're going to get any of our stuff is through our dealers. So therefore, it's super important to invest in those communities to make it cool. Right time, right place. And again, 5 years ago, all abandoned warehouses. So we were, if anything, maybe a little early. But I think we truly, not to toot our own horn as if I have any problem doing that, but that is, I think we helped give a lot of confidence to other businesses. But again, Trek, if they feel the value in Johnson City, that has to be a nice little bump to everyone else.